Howdy, I'm Amin Sakra, and welcome to HPRC Primer, Introduction to Faster, a Composable Cluster. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. This is going to be a very hands-on primer, so I'm going to have you guys follow along if you would like. And to start, just navigate to one of these two websites, either hprc.tamu.edu or the faster portals at these links. I'm going to go ahead and follow along with you guys just to make sure that everything's working smoothly. All right, so we're first going to navigate to hprc.tamu.edu. We can go to the portal tab and navigate to the faster portal. On this tab, we'll see this page. So we made it to the next slide. Here, you're going to open up the faster shell underneath the clusters tab, and you'll be able to access the faster systems through the shell, through your browser, and run any of the commands you would normally expect to on faster. So let's go ahead and navigate to that. All right. And now it'll give you the option to sign in. You can go ahead and enter your password just the way that you'd expect it, your A&M password, and it'll give you the option to connect with Duo Mobile. I'm going to go ahead and do that and connect just so we can get this out of the way. Awesome, here we go. Now you'll also be able to connect to Faster through SSH. Different operating systems will have different ways of connecting through SSH. Windows, there are these options available. We recommend using MOBA Xterm just for simplicity and other options. If you have Mac OS or Linux, you can connect directly from the terminal. To connect through the terminal, you just run this command, SSH space your net ID followed by @faster.hprc.tamu.edu. And as you saw on this previous page over here, it'll just prompt you to enter your password and then enter Duo Mobile and just follow the prompts throughout that, and you should be able to sign in and see a page like this. Now, we're going to go ahead and let you guys try this by yourselves. Let's see if you guys can connect. If you guys are having any problems connecting either via SSH or the website, just put something in the chat and we can assist you as best we can. We'll give you 2 minutes to go ahead and try this. Yeah. So here's a little bit more about Faster and the clusters that we have here at HPRC. They'll be separated into two directories. We have our home and our scratch directory. Whenever you sign in, you're going to be in the home directory as a default, and you can navigate over to your scratch directory. Your home should not be where you install large files or create mass amounts of data, as you only get a limit of 10 gigabytes and 10,000 files that can be created in this directory. If you are installing large software or dealing with large amounts of data, you can navigate to the Scratch directory and you will have a limit of 1 terabyte or 250,000 files where you can run all of your computations. All right, now we're going to go ahead and navigate over to the dashboard through the portal. As you can see, it's going to be under the dashboard tab on the Faster portal. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. Let's navigate over to that. On this portal, you can see a lot of information about your account specifically, such as how many SUs you have available and your storage limit and your file limit and what percent of that you've already used. Now you can also see stats about Faster and see how much of it is being used right now, how many jobs there are running, and how many there are pending on the cluster. So as you can see, just a little bit more, you can see the SUs over here, and you can see the disk usage and file usage all on this page, along with current jobs that you're running over here. All right, now I'm gonna have you guys try to navigate to the dashboard and see if you can find where the button to request a quota increase is. All right, I can go ahead and show you guys where the request quota increase button is. So if you navigate back to this page, you can see right here, right underneath where you can see all of your quota limits, there's a button to request a quota increase. So it'll prompt you with a couple questions, and you just go ahead, answer these questions, and request however much storage you want and the file limit. And then you can also answer these questions to make sure that your query request gets approved, and leave any comments that you want down below here, where it'll be submitted over to us and we can handle it from there. If you're having any issues, you can create a help ticket over here and follow all the messages that are right here. Make sure just to fill out with all the information that you can give us, and we can go ahead and help you throughout here. So you can list your problem out here, copy any error message that you get and leave it here. And then you can put your job ID from whatever job you're submitting, which we'll get to later, over here, and we can help you from there. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the next slide. So our clusters allow you to use a variety of software that we already have installed. To view information about all the software that we have, you can go to this link right here, which will be pasted in the chat soon, and you can find information about all the software that we have. If you are trying to load the software, you can navigate to this website to see what's available on Faster and how to load that specific software and what its name is. And you can also see more about the software information on this page right here with this link. If you need any software that does not have a public license and needs you to request a license or some other sort of checkpoint before you can use it, you can go ahead and contact us at help@hprc.tamu.edu, and we can help you through that. If you're having any other issues, you can also email this message or navigate to the create a help ticket on the dashboard, and we can help you through that. And very briefly, I want to say, whenever you are installing softwares, there should never be a time when you need to use sudo to install the software. If you're facing that, just go ahead and reach out to us and make sure, so we can make sure everything works fine. All right, so we have a little bit more interactive stuff. I'm gonna have you guys go back to however you opened up the console or the SSH and run these commands. So modules are packages of software that you can load onto Grace or Faster and use that software through this method. We have an hierarchical layout where you'll need to load each individual package that is required for the next level up, and to see whatever is required, you can just run a module spider command, which we'll get to soon. So I'm going to go ahead and follow along with you guys. I'm going to go back to my terminal over here, and I'm going to type out module list, which was the first command. So as you can see, I don't have any modules loaded. Now, if I want to go ahead and load the first software, it was module load followed by this name right here, GCC-11.2.0. So I'm going to go ahead and type that, GCC-11.2.0. And as you can see, no return message. But if we go ahead and run module list again, we can see that these are now loaded and available for use. Now, if we want to go ahead and load the next software, we have OpenMPI. We can do module load OpenMPI-4.1.1. I'm going to go ahead and run this command, module load OpenMPI-4.1.1. And as you can see, there's no return message, but if you type out module list, you can see those modules were successfully loaded. Now I'm going to have you guys go ahead and try these commands out yourselves. Here are the commands that I just ran. And if you're running into any issues, feel free to leave a message in the chat and we can help you throughout. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the next slide. If anyone needs, we can come back to this slide later. All right, so next up we have toolchains. Toolchains are a collection of compilers and libraries, just multiple things that are loaded at once. There's a bunch of tool chains on the clusters. Here are some of them that are available just as examples. And if you load one of these, you can load multiple modules at once. So we're going to go ahead and run the module purge command. You can use the module spider command to load information about any sort of module you want. So you can do module spider followed by GCC core, and it'll bring up all the different versions and what its dependencies are that you need to load before, which is following the hierarchical system. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. I still have all the modules loaded up, but if I run the command module purge, it won't give me any return statement, but if I run module list again, I'll have nothing loaded, just in case you guys want to start from anew and clear all the modules that are currently loaded. All right, so here's a little bit of an activity for you guys. I'm going to have you try to load this module with the commands that we used before, and then try to clear all the modules. So let's see if you guys remember the commands. If you need any help, just drop a message in the chat and we can help. So here's a little bit more information on how HPRC clusters work and how Slurm works. So if you are on campus, you can connect directly to our network and log into faster. However, if you are off campus, you will need to connect to the A&M VPN before you can connect to our clusters. If you're an Access user, you should be able to connect directly through the portal. Once you're connected, you can create a job. You'll need a job script, which we'll go over in the next couple of slides. And once you have that script completed, you just submit that job. Job gets queued in our batch manager, also known as Slurm, and whatever required computations are run and outputted in the requested format that you have, or an error is outputted. So here's a little bit more about batch queues and how Slurm works. You can run this command sinfo to see the information on what HPRC has available and how much is up and running ready for current jobs. The most important thing I think I'd take away from this slide are the way that we can show you how many nodes are active, idle, offline, and how many there are in total. So as you can see right here, it'll show you all the different layouts. These numbers are active, these are idle, waiting to be used. This number is offline, and then these are the total number of each CPU, GPU, and the rest available to be used. All right, and here's an example of a job script. It's got a bunch of commands that help the system know exactly what it's doing and what to load. Things such as how much memory to give it, the time limit that it has, job name, along with where you'd expect to have your job or the program that you're trying to run. And this can all be customized, and more information will be available on our knowledge base to make sure that you guys getting all the information that you need. All right, so we're gonna have a very quick hands-on activity just to help you guys get ready for the next one. So if you guys would go ahead and follow along with me, you have to go back to the original dashboard and go down to your files. Go down to your home directory and navigate to the following address whenever it comes up. So let's let this load, and then I'll go ahead and navigate. All right, and now the directory that you're going to be putting it in is going to be right here, and I'm going to drop it in the chat right now too. It's going to be scratch/training/intro to faster. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this and put it in the chat with the correct slashes. This file path, this should be where you should be navigating. Once you're here, you're going to scroll down to Hello World and then press this check mark right here. Once you press that, go to copy/move, and you're going to go ahead and copy it into your home directory. So just exactly like this. All right, and there we go. It shows up in this directory. Now we'll go back and continue with this exercise. So once you have the job file, you want to go ahead and submit that job file to Slurm to be processed. Once you submit the job file, there's going to be a certain amount of SUs deducted from your account. They'll just account for what is expected, what resources are expected to be taken up by the job file. And you can view that information whenever you type SQ. So I'm going to go ahead and do this along with you guys if you guys want to follow along. So I have my terminal still open right here. I'm going to type ls just to make sure. I have hello world right here. So now I'm typing sbatch hello world, and it's telling me that it should take 1.5 or 1.5 SUs are requested to start off with. Now, if I type the command sq followed by -u and then my UIN or user just to show my own number, a second ago it would have showed this job, but as you can see, it's already completed since it was a relatively easy job. I'm going to go ahead and do this just to show you. It'll show you the username partition and the other information of what you've requested for your job. So once this is done, I can type ls again, and I can see we were expecting to print out to this X output. So we can go ahead and try to read this X output and see what was expected or see what the result was. And as you can see, hello world. Now I want you guys to try to do the same thing I just did. You just have to copy over that job file and then run sbatch and the name of the file. And then you could check if it's still in the queue with sq-u and then your UIN. And then you can check the job file itself or the output file to see if hello world is printed correctly. If you're running into any issues, feel free to leave a message or unmute and ask any questions. We'll give you 5 minutes for this. So now that you've submitted your job, you can go ahead and check how many SUs you still have available. This command will also show you how many you were initially allocated and your PI. We can go ahead and go to my console and check how many SUs I still have available and see all the information after running that job. So if I type the command my project, I should be able to see that I had 5,000 SUs to start with. And since it was a relatively small job, it didn't take many SUs away from me, and it left me with 5,000 SUs. Now, if you're running more complicated SUs that do require GPUs or CPUs, these numbers will be different, and you'll most likely have more SUs taken away after running your job. Here's some more commands that you can run with my project. You can also run my project -d and then account number to change your default account from one to another. And you can also run the command my project -h to see more options that you have available. And you can also find all this information on the Faster dashboard. So now we're going to navigate back to the dashboard, which we have open right here. And if I go ahead and refresh this page, like I said, since it was a pretty small job, it's not likely that we're going to see many SUs used. But if it was a bigger job, we'd see negative a certain amount, and it would reflect in the balance to see how many we used for out of our current allocation. All right. Now I'm going to have you guys try to follow along too and type in the command and try to navigate to the dashboard and see if you can see your information on here as well. One last thing I want to highlight before the break is under your jobs, you can also see the jobs that you're running. If it was still running, it would show up under current jobs. However, it's now showing up under completed jobs. As you can see, 1 second jobs, and you can find more information about that right here. All right, was everyone able to access my project and the dashboard, see the information? So here's some more information about FASTER. So FASTER stands for Fostering Accelerated Sciences Transformation, Education and Research. We do have a wide variety of GPUs, accelerators, CPUs available for your computational needs. Here's a list of the GPUs that we have available and all the other accelerators available. And here are some of the different nodes that we have and what comes along with them. This information will also all be available on our knowledge base, which can be found at this link right here. Okay, and now here's a little bit deeper of a dive into faster and what it means to be a composable cluster. So the way traditional servers are configured, you have a certain amount of SSDs to a certain amount of accelerators, and they're hardwired in, and there's no ability to change them. However, composable clusters are able to take all of the resources available and use this liquid fabric to create a web of accelerators, SSDs, CPUs, whatever you need, and allow you to mix and match to fit your computational needs. So if you need a CPU or a GPU heavy job run, then you can request more GPUs or CPUs to fulfill that need. All right, and here's a little bit of a quick quiz. Which accelerators are available on Faster? Here's some of the different options, and here's Faster. All right, so to answer the question, we do have all these accelerators available for use on Faster. So F, all the above. If you need help with anything related to HPRC or Faster, you can go ahead and check out our knowledge base. We have our FAQ where you can find frequently asked questions about HPRC or more information on how to use Faster. If you're having any trouble, you can send us an email at help@hprc.tamu.edu, or you can use the contact us button on the TAMU dashboard. Whenever you are contacting us, please try to leave as much information as you can, such as what cluster you're on, your username, job IDs, and anything else that it asks for you that you think is relevant. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this primer. If you need any help with anything, feel free to reach out to help@hprc.tamu.edu. And of course, have a great day. Thank you.